Welcome to Autocar's roundup of the 2025 Tokyo Motor Show. Coming just a month after the Munich show, perhaps the old-fashioned motor show is back, and Tokyo delivers what the Tokyo show typically does, which is radical concepts from Japanese manufacturers. Stay tuned. And remember that Autocar, the original car magazine, has been writing and talking about cars weekly since 1895. Visit themagazineshop.com and you'll find full access to our complete digital archive as we turn 130 years old this very week. To Tokyo then, and let's start with the Lexus LS concept, a radical six-wheeled MPV that redefines the idea of a luxury car from the luxury arm of Toyota. The new LS has been described as a private sanctuary while previewing a dramatic revamp of the brand's design hallmarks and positioning. Simon Humphries, head of design for Toyota and Lexus, says that Lexus will be afforded a greater creative freedom because Toyota has spun out its Century model into a dedicated luxury saloon brand, more on which later. The new LS comes as traditional saloons fall out of favour with luxury buyers globally, particularly in China, where upmarket MPVs, multi-purpose vehicles or cars that look like vans with windows, are having a renaissance. In Europe, Lexus has already introduced the LM. It costs from $95,000 in the UK. But this LS concept envisions a car that could sit above even that, rivaling the Bentley Bentayga or Rolls-Royce Cullinan, with the advantage that it would be much more spacious. That's the thinking behind that six-wheeled concept, because smaller back wheels could be used at the rear to minimise wheel arch intrusion into interior space. Hence, LS no longer stands for Luxury Saloon, as it did when the first LS400 was launched in 1989, but now Luxury Space. There are no technical details yet, nor production plans, which is not an uncommon theme for Tokyo show cars, as we'll see. More on Lexus using that creative freedom then with this micro LS concept, a tiny one-seater about the same size as a Citroën Ami. It's a completely new kind of mobility, says the boss of Lexus's Californian design studio where this was created, designed for point-to-point intra-city travel, where cars might not be allowed at all. It has a leather reclining seat, bamboo floors and wall, and a controlled screen, plus bespoke glassware for drinks on the move. Sometimes small can look too cute, they say. We want this to look premium. Does it? Let us know below. Star of the Mazda stand is this Vision X Coupe, a sleek 500 horsepower four-door that's all new but does seem evolved from the 2015 RX Vision concept, which set the tone for Mazda's Kodo design language, which it still uses today. Mazda hasn't given firm specs for this new concept, but does say it uses a two-rotor rotary engine, turbocharged, as part of a plug-in hybrid system. It's said to be capable of travelling 100 miles with the engine off. Mazda says it's capable of running carbon-neutral fuels derived from microalgae. Did you know they produce around half the world's oxygen? And this concept is supposedly fitted with a carbon capture device. Now, Mazda's making quite big noises about synthetic fuels. And if this powertrain does sound wild, remember it already has a rotary electric powertrain in the MX-30 crossover. Slightly more straightforward from Mazda is this Vision X Compact, which previews a successor to the Mazda 2 Super Mini. It's just 3.8 metres long, so old-school Super Mini territory, slightly smaller than the old 2. Mazda hasn't confirmed it for production, but does say it represents Mazda's vision for the future of smart mobility. The exterior uses Mazda's relatively familiar and well-liked design language, but the interior is quite the departure with a simple driver's display and a classic three-spoke steering wheel, and it goes without a touchscreen. A smartphone mount next to the steering wheel, like Dacia style, implies they could reduce content to keep costs down. This car does have what looks like a gear lever, but there's no word on what powers it. Mazda does say that its vision for the future is based around the notion that vehicles and people form an emotional connection, much like a friend. Bless. If you think the latest Toyota Prius looks radical, have a gander at this Corolla concept, previewing the 13th generation of the family car. The Corolla is the world's best-selling car, with more than 50 million of them sold since 1966. The current model is 7 years old, so a successor shouldn't be too far away. This drastically changes its appearance and powertrains. We're going to reinvent the best-selling car of all time, said Toyota designer Lance Scott at the car's unveiling. Central to it will be pure electric, hybrid and pure combustion powertrains, including an entirely new engine, whose compact packaging is said to be crucial to the car's rakish looks. You're not going to compromise on space, style or functionality, Scott told us, so whatever the powertrain, you will get the same interior space. When we asked if it was a realistic preview of the Corolla, Scott said, "Let's see what happens." With a positive reaction, why not? It's not out of the realm of reality. And given what they did with the Prius, why not indeed? This wild new Performance E STI concept represents the future of the performance scene, spearheading Subaru's new generation, the company says a little vaguely. But it comes after Subaru Europe boss David Dellostrito told us there are plans to bring back the sportiness in Subaru. Ask the average person what Subaru means and they'll say STI, he told us, and that has been missing, notably within Europe. This sleek new hatchy estatey thing seems to be a manifestation of Subaru's ambition to work on more sporty models. Now it says electrification allows them to develop those because emissions regulations haven't helped it with combustion performance cars. You can find quick WRXs elsewhere, but not within Europe. Could electrification make the difference? The production version of this Super N prototype will go on sale next year in Japan and a select number of global markets, including the UK, the company says. It's a new electric city car designed to appeal to car enthusiasts and has a simulated gear shift system. It's built on one of Honda's K car platforms. Now that's a Japanese special small car class, so it's under 3.4 metres long. Honda says it'll have unique driving engagement for a car of this size. Pricing is yet to be confirmed, but it will effectively replace the short-lived Honda E, which we liked a lot but was expensive at £37,000 and had a very small range. Finally then to that Century, a new brand from Toyota conceived as a rival to Bentley and Range Rover. This dedicated Century model is the third, joining the flagship saloon that entered production in 1967 and a Bentayga-sized SUV that was revealed in 2023. But this car does without Toyota badges entirely, instead carved out as a new mark in its own right. The original Century was a car in a class of its own, said Toyota chairman Akio Toyoda, who mentioned Rolls-Royce as one key rival. Since 1967, Century has represented not only the best of Toyota, but the best of Japan, Toyota's design boss added. Its details are light, but it has a similar footprint to a Bentley Continental GT, has sliding doors and a 3-seat cabin. Never has it been easier to exit a coupe with so much style and grace, says Toyota. No word on whether they'll build it or export it. Can we be among the first to say, we do hope so? Thank you for joining us for this Tokyo Roundup. Now there are more details, interviews with engineers and bosses on these cars and more besides if you visit autocar.co.uk. We'll be back with more news and reviews on this channel soon. Give us a like and if you subscribe you won't miss one. Thanks and cheerio for now.